Hey guys, and welcome back to Leo Gaming. Yes, today is my review for Forza Horizon 5 on the Xbox Series X. Now, I'm not going to go completely into everything you can do. I'm not going to waffle on about race styles, you know, and every single detail. I'm going to sort of give my overall feeling and impressions and talk about a few of the gameplay features and some of the things that are wrong with the game that I dislike about the game, which, to be honest, has been a mainstay for Forza games, but I was hoping they would have improved it, this one, but they haven't. So, guys, without further ado, let's get straight into this review. So, where to begin, guys? Well, let's just say this game looks visually stunning, breathtaking. The amount of times I'm driving about, I've got to a point where, yeah, to start with, you're driving around. You don't even want to do the missions. You just want to drive around. This game is so much fun. Even the races themselves, you do not have to do those races because you can just have just as much fun whizzing around the map without a race, on your own, just visually taking in everything because it looks fantastic. One of the first things I did was drive up to the top of the mountain just to get a view, to see what it's like, and it is absolutely stunning. They have really, Playground Games have really nailed the visual aspects from the rocks and the way everything breaks, the trees, the bushes. When you drive on a rocky surface off-road, all the rocks spread out and start flying off all over the place from your wheel spin. The mist effects, the particle effects from when you do a tyre burnout or you're skidding around the corner. The one thing I did notice, though, is the dust. When you're driving on the dust, you get good tyre burnout smoke as a good particle effect. But when you're driving on the dusty surface, the sandy surfaces, the particle effects aren't as strong. It doesn't feel like there's enough dust kicking off. Yeah, see, I was expecting or I would have thought what would have made it better was like a Mad Max style. In the game Mad Max, when you're driving on that dust, you can see the trail from a distance, and it's quite a big trail of dust that's kicking up. Now, Mexico's got a very similar sort of sandy, dusty desert feel. So I was hoping that you would get this long trail of dust that would kick up. That would have made it even better. So that is one thing I think that Playground Games could have improved is the trail of dust that you leave behind when you go off road. It's not very big. I would have thought it would have been a lot more than what they've actually portrayed in the game. The actual visuals, guys, in terms of everything, the draw distance you could see for miles when you're coming down the mountainside. You could see out across most of the map, and you're sort of looking, thinking, oh, I'll go over there, I'll go over there, no, I'll go over there. Absolutely fantastic. One of the things they've added in this game, actually, is like a personal assistant sat-nav type thing. Now you don't have to sort of select on the map. It's actually really good. Rather than keep going to the map and choosing which race you want to do, you can speak to your assistant called Anna. Now you on the Xbox controller, you press the down button. I think it's the down button or the up button, one of them on the D-pad, and it brings up a few options, and you can choose either what's the latest race going on. Certain options you can choose. So if you choose like the latest race, she'll talk and go, "Hi, Christopher. I have selected the latest race nearest to you," and you'll get the sort of the arrows pointing you in that direction on the ground. It's really good. It saves you from having to keep jumping into the map. I really like it. I've used it most of the time. So now you get like a personal assistant, which just gives you more immersion in the map itself. You don't have to keep flicking in and out. The driving itself, it's fantastic. You cannot get the open world scenario for a driving game is so good. Need for Speed have tried it a few times, but Forza just nail it. Forza nail that open world environment, because the problem with a lot of games, and they constrain to this a lot, and they have done for years, and Forza don't, is this as soon as you hit a barrier, it's like hitting a brick wall, sort of thing. Or if you hit a tree, it's like hitting a brick wall. A thick tree trunk, yeah, but the thinner trees, and most games, if you hit any object, most racing games, you hit any object, it's like hitting a brick wall. Whereas Forza do this destructible environment where if you hit a small palm tree, it's going to destroy it. So it doesn't interrupt the flow on the gameplay, because at the end of the day, if you're in an open world environment, you don't want to be trying to avoid every single tree and bush and rock that's there. You want to be able to just freely drive. And I think that's such a genius move, because it gives you that feeling of just speed, driving around without the worry of hitting objects every 5 seconds. Otherwise, the open world environment wouldn't be best utilized. It's best utilized with a destructible environment that doesn't slow your car down. It does affect it, but it doesn't stop you dead. So I think that's such a great way of doing an open world racing game. And I just feel the actual driving itself, it feels weighty, it feels heavy. When you go onto each car handles differently. So when you're doing a handbrake turn around a corner, each car has a different feel. For example, the rally car I was using, which I use most of the time when I'm just free roaming, purely because it's got the best handbrake turning and off-road abilities, whereas the Porsche that I'm driving as well doesn't have as good a handbrake turn, and it's just the feel of each car is completely different. So you have to adjust your driving style with that car and pick the correct car for the correct race. In terms of free roaming, obviously you can use any car you want, but I use the rally cars more on the free roam because I just like to go around and off-road and stuff like that. So you still get your usual Forza Horizon festival. You get the big opening race or the big opening introduction where you're handling different cars, and you get all your different races that open up in each different region over time as you collect your points, your XP points from winning races. I'll go over the XP sort of basis in a minute, because that's, to me, is a slight negative with that one. But yeah, you get the whole open world of Mexico. Obviously, it's in Mexico. Lovely, beautiful landscape, detailed environments, detailed towns, detailed trees, detailed everything. Everything is very, very detailed. So absolutely stunning visual detail. You also get various race types. Everything is covered. So you get your drag races, you get your street races, you get your wild races going over the hills and around the countryside, off-road races, rally races, stunt races. There's all different races that this game covers within the world. And what I love is the little side stories that you get, where you can try and find a long lost car that's been locked up in the garage. I mean, at the start of the game, you're dealing a lot with Pablo Fernando. All you hear is Pablo Fernando, he was the greatest. Pablo Fernando, he would have loved this car. Pablo Fernando, which is fair enough, but you hear it a lot. And you've got to unlock these cars in the garages and then sort of renovate them, and then do little races with them, little stunts with them to sort of test them out until you can actually keep the car yourself. It is great. I do love that sort of stuff. You got to hit all the little signboards and stuff like that to gain XP or to unlock a fast travel point. The same as previous Forzas. It's got all the same stuff as previous Forzas, and obviously you unlock plenty of different races, speed traps where you've got to try and go through a speed camera as fast as you can, danger signs where you've got to try and do the longest jump at that specific point in the map. There's all these different things that can be done organically, or you can just sort of go there, unlocking it on the map and then just go there yourself. Organically is better when you accidentally do it, because it feels more organic and it feels more natural as you're driving through the landscape. Yeah, and obviously you unlock the big special events, the big special races where you're racing a fighter jet, a plane, you're driving the Halo buggy, or, you know, like typical Forza where they have deals with different gaming companies or different companies where they can include the theming in that particular special event, which is always brilliant. I do love them, especially when it does the slow-mo cam and it's sort of slowly, when you're doing a big jump, or something like that. It's fantastic. So it's got everything there. Visually, great. Sound, great. Each car engine sounds different as well. It doesn't all sound the same and monotonous. It all sounds really authentic. And the gameplay itself, the driving itself, fantastic. Obviously, if you've got online connected, you can see all the other drivers driving about. And that's what's great as well. I love it because you unintentionally start racing another driver who's online, another person who's online. You can see them and you'll be going one day, you'll be sort of, you're actually meant to go somewhere else to the map, but then you start following them. And you start thinking, oh, do you know what? I'm going to start racing them. And they won't know. I mean, you can do an invite where you can race together, but you end up just doing it without them knowing. And then I think they generally twig that you're trying to race them and you end up just sort of racing each other. It's really good, especially with the massive map. It really opens it up, and I love it. I think that element where you don't have the online is connected quite seamlessly is brilliant. I love that. I think that's the best way to do an online system and integrate online into a nigh on single player game. So yeah, there's plenty of races, plenty of things to do. Now, going on to the negatives, and this is a big negative for me. Within the first 10 hours of play, I'd earned 2.5 million credits. I'd unlocked somehow super sports cars, legendary super sports cars within the first 2 hours. XP you're getting just for driving in a straight line. The moment you do a slight near miss, you get XP. You do anything, you cause damage, you get XP. You do this, you get XP. You do that, you get XP. Now, that is okay, and you're getting these super. I must have built up about 10 super spill wins or wheel spins, which is basically where you get a little magic wheel. It's like a lucky dip of what prize you get from it, sort of thing, like a fairground attraction. It's just too much. It's too much. There is no progression. I mean, for all the races and everything you've got, the structure is all over the place. I just felt I didn't know what to do. It just felt like there was too much, too quick, getting cars left, right and centre. They were just gifting me cars. Here you go, Chris. Here's another one. Hello, Christopher. Here is another car. Hello, Christopher. You have unlocked another wheel spin. Hello, Christopher. Here's 5 million credits within the first hour. It's like, slow down. And you could almost buy nearly every car within like the first 10 hours. You can't, but it feels like it. It feels like they're just gifting you everything. And while you're driving, you've got constantly up on the screen, XP this for XP for that, XP for this. And it's like, slow down. We've given... And you do find you are overwhelmed. I mean, we blame Ubisoft for overwhelming you. This overwhelms you in a negative way. For me personally, for some people, it won't. They'll love all this instant gratification. That's what it is. They know that a lot of gamers today, especially the younger generation, nothing against them, but the younger generation want instant gratification. And seeing all these flashes up on the screen with you've won this, you've got that, you've got this, you've won this, you've unlocked that, that's great for them. For me, it just felt like there was no progression. I'm like, well, what am I racing for then? If I've already unlocked a Lamborghini within the first hour, what am I racing for? What am I racing to unlock all the cars for? You know, you need to spend a good 15, 20 hours before you even unlock one. I mean, you can tune your cars. What's the point? I haven't taken that, because what's the point of tuning your car when you have unlocked so many so quickly? You don't need to tune one car. You could just pick one that's better. That's the problem. It's got features in it that doesn't match up, and it contradicts with what they're giving you. The tuning of the car contradicts completely with the amount of cars they're giving you so early on. Because what's the point of tuning a car when you could just pick another one that's better? And that is the big negative for me on this game. There's too much flashing about on your screen, too many things you're unlocking too quickly, and it's like, meh, there's no progression. It is fun. I will carry on playing it because I like doing the races and I like the open world. But in terms of progression, there's no satisfaction for me in terms of progression at all. So they are the negatives for me, guys. And then you get the menu system. So when you go into the main menu, there is too much information. You go onto the season bit and there is writing and information everywhere. There is far too much information for a car game, personally. I get it. You need to have your online section, your campaign section, then you've got a Horizon section, then you've got other sections that there's just too much information on the main menus, and I think they should have scaled back on that. I get it. They need to reserve space for future DLC and things like that, which is understandable. But I mean, I went on to the season section on the main menu, and I was like, what the hell is this? You can't do nothing with it. You just read it. And it was like, what's the point? What is the point? You don't need all this information on this screen. There's just too much information everywhere. So, guys, overall, in my eyes, personally, I played Forza Horizon 4, enjoyed it, loved it, but for the same reasons, I didn't enjoy that either, as the same as for Forza Horizon 5. Now, overall, personally and honestly, the game is more of the same as number 4. What makes this stand out for me personally is the graphics. They've improved the handling of the vehicles, cars a lot better, but for me, the most obvious and clear features that's been upgraded is the graphics. They have added a few little extra features and things like that, but it is more of the same, please. Basically, it's more of the same as number 4, just on a different map. Mexico, absolutely fantastic location, great for a racing, driving game. But like I say, me personally, I will continue playing it for the reasons that I've already given, just for the racing and the open world itself. That is the only reason why I will play it. In terms of a progression system, not for me. But like I say, if you are looking to buy this, thinking it's going to be some magical, massive difference, this, that, and the other to number 4, it's not. It is more of the same with much better visuals, upgraded for a Series X and Series S. That is my overall arching view on this game. It is fun and it is enjoyable. But for all the hype, I mean, I'm an Xbox fan, but it is more of the same. I'm going to be completely honest, it is more of the same, but it's at the end of the day, with racing games, the same as sport games, what can you really do differently apart from the setting? It's the same with any racing game. You cannot change anything with racing games apart from the setting or the background story. It's like Need for Speed games. They're all the same, just there's a slightly different story. Or Forza games, they're all the same, just a different setting. Gran Turismo, it's all the same tracks. It's all the same tracks, just visually updated. With added tracks, slightly new tracks. That's the thing with racing games. They can't really go any further than racing and what they do already. So overall, guys, I would say if you've got Game Pass, download it. It is a massive download. It's just over 100 gigabytes, so it may take you some time, but I will suggest playing it because it is fun and it is enjoyable. Me and my son, I love just race. My son, he doesn't do the races. He just likes driving around, smashing everything. That's just what he likes doing. He's only 4, but for him, it's easy just to drive around, smash into everything and have a lot of fun. So, guys, that is my impressions and review of Forza Horizon 5. Guys, if you do like my content, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button that is down below the screen you are watching from. Also, don't forget to check out my previous previous video on Sony ponies or Sony fanboys hating on Xbox all the time, and specifically Forza Horizon 5, and I have a little discussion about that and what I think. Guys, hope you enjoy the rest of your weeks, and I will love you all. See you very soon. Bye-bye.